Hello and welcome to my Shadow Priest guide for Mythic N'Zoth, a very weird but very rewarding fight for this class. Hopefully my tips will be useful to you and you'll be killing this boss yourself in no time. We'll start with what to do before the fight even starts. The portal to exit the instance is right next to N'Zoth, and then when you enter the instance again, you're right back next to N'Zoth. This allows you to go outside and hit some mobs, generate some insanity, and then maintain it on your allies with Mindseer. You can now pre-void form, which is super helpful. What pre-void form allows you to do in this fight is actually pretty powerful. You'll be purposefully dropping void form right around when you have to do mechanics, which is useful because now you can actually do the mechanics instead of trying to maintain your void form. At this point, it's as simple as double casting Shadow Word Void to re-enter void form to set up for a specific drop in just a few moments. On my kill, I ended up messing this up, and you'll see why that's a problem in just a moment here. What you're aiming for is re-entering void form at the end of these 3 pulses. This allows you to have a very specific drop once again, which allows you to do the important void form going into the burn phase. You'll see here that I drop void form at around 30 stacks when the tentacles spawn. What I want to be doing is dropping void form when the tentacles die. This allows me to get a better chorus stack going into the important moments here. I'm going to be re-entering void form right when the tethers begin, because that means I'm going to drop void form at a nice large amount right when the burn phase begins, so I can get that massive burn. Doing the pre-void form correctly puts you in a much better spot. The additional chorus, along with your Shadow Word Pains and Shadowy Apparitions, allows you to help maintain your insanity during this pull, which lasts for 5 seconds in which you can't cast anything. I ended up getting a super lucky Lucid Minor proc here to help me maintain my form. I'm then going to also cast Void Bolt, Double Shadow Word Void, and Void Bolt again into one of the Psychophages in order to maintain my form and then start working on the Spike Tentacles. This allows me to delay Dispersion so that I can pause my Insanity Drain during movement and then do my second big trick, which is that you can use Lucid Major during Dispersion even though you're silenced. You can then use a Dispersion cancelaura macro to go right back into your rotation. This trick ends up getting you about 5 to 8 additional Void Form stacks, which is a lot of additional damage. I'm then going to purposefully drop my Void Form here, even though I probably could have gotten 2 or 3 additional stacks because I want as much uptime on the boss as possible. I'm also going to use my Shadow Fiend here, even though I normally like to use it to extend Void Forms a little bit longer, because it gets the half a hero, all of that chorus, and all that lingering, which means Shadow Fiend himself is going to be doing approximately 500,000 damage, which is about 4 times as much as he normally does. Using all these tricks together, I was able to bump my burn damage up from 2 mil to about 3.5 to 4 mil. On this kill it was 3.7. That's a huge improvement over what I was doing before, which was just doing the fight like normal and not trying to do these very specific timings. Now all of what just happened is going to repeat for me. I'm actually upstairs for both Psychuses because Psychus groups are 9 people, so one of the healers and myself are staying up. This allows me to then maintain control over all the Spike Tentacles and allow all the other DPS topside to just focus on the Basher and the Corruptors. On the second round, I was able to enter Void Form at the end of 3 pulses. This allowed me to get a better chorus stack going into the Neuron phase. This brings me to the next big tip, which is Mind Bomb. It's not normally used, but has a very special effect on this fight. Mind Bomb is a 2-stage spell. The first stage you can cast before the pull happens, and when the second stage goes off, you actually stop getting pulled back. This allows me to stay in range just close enough to the next Spike Tentacle spawn that I was able to maintain my Void Form stack and not have to use Dispersion early. This trick ended up netting me about 9 or 10 additional stacks of Chorus going into N'Zoth's second burn phase. This time, however, I'm not going to be using Shadow Fiend for the burn. This burn phase leads into phase 2, in which N'Zoth is going to be damageable for a long period of time, which means that Shadow Fiend is better used to extend a larger Void Form. The rest of phase 2 is basically just a normal fight. The next big thing comes up in phase 3. I went back and forth with myself for a long time on this one, but I feel like I came to the best conclusion, for me at least. I'm going to not use any cooldowns whatsoever during this phase. Even though it may seem like coming out of this phase with a large chorus stack might be a good idea, it actually kind of messes up the timings in phase 4 a little bit. Right after dropping the first anguish of phase 4, I'm able to use Shadow Fiend to help me get through all of this movement and maintain my form. I'm then able to again use the Dispersion into Lucid trick to do further movement and get a much larger chorus stack here than I normally would be able to running halfway across a large room like this. During the rest of P4, you just go through your normal rotation, and this timing actually has one more benefit. Your second void form of P4 is actually going to drop right before the final Lust and Burn phase. This is going to give you a very large amount of boss damage during P4 overall. You're probably going to have to adjust some of these timings based on your gear, your group, and if you're going into a Psychus phase, but hopefully some of these tips are going to help you take down this boss. I wish you good luck and have fun killing N'Zoth on Mythic difficulty. If you'd like to see my full POV, there will be a link in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Cosmic Cook, Cosmic Caster Stormrage in game, and have a wonderful day.